Everybody can see this blue slide. Yeah, again, my name is Hinrich Fremke, and I'm really glad to have this opportunity to meet you today. It's quite impressive, 1st of May, and have so many participants interested in virtual internet stuff. So yeah, well done for that. Let me move on here. So I would like to talk today about Microsoft Teams, which is a product by Microsoft which actually enables people to work together. So Microsoft Teams is an enabler for teamwork. I would like to start with this product because it's the way things are going currently, and how organizations are busy working currently, specifically now at the times with the COVID-19 issues. Microsoft Teams is the biggest enabler currently out there, ensuring that companies can still work. People can work from home, can collaborate, can work on what they have to work on and deliver. Following this Teams introduction, obviously there's a Q&A session, and then I would like to show a little bit of Microsoft Outlook, calendars, so that you can organize yourself and have your data with you all the time, your appointments, reminders, and contacts. But let's go there as we go. Next page. Any questions so far? No hands, okay. I said this already. So why did we get here? Or why do I show you Microsoft Teams? Nowadays, the workplace is changing drastically. Not because of COVID-19, but the way things are. People have to be flexible. They're using social tools. They're using multiple devices, different generations, different cultures, all coming together and are actually forced to work in a team to deliver on something bigger. It can be your accountant and yourself to work on documents together. You have a shared space for your documents, and you can work on it together without sending documents via email up and down and up and down, and you don't know what version is what version. I think that might ring a bell for you, and often causes problems as well, because you might work on outdated documents and then somebody sends the other original and you have different versions and it's a whole mess. It's estimated that actually by this year, 2020, 72% of all workers are working not in an office, they're working from somewhere else. Team-based collaboration. Many workers are not only part or member of one team to deliver on a project or task, they actually are part of many teams. And so 80%, they presume, is actually spent by collaborating with other people to get the work done. I don't know how it's in the farming industry. I guess it's not that extreme, but it's important still to share your documents and work on documents you have to do your ordinary daily business. Any questions here? Okay. Next slide. So Microsoft Teams is now the answer of Microsoft to all the problems currently out there. Microsoft Teams will allow people to communicate, to collaborate, and to create their own workspace. So it's not like you have to go to your IT department anymore or your IT support person and ask them, listen, I need an email address, I need this, I need that. Microsoft Teams is supposed to be like a self-service portal. You need it, you request it, and it's getting done for you and instantaneously. And that's very nice. It's everything together, and you can work with confidence, because while you have a meeting like we have now, you can pull all your information you need for this meeting together because it's right there. Just a quick question. Can you guys see my mouse moving on the screen?
I can see it, Heinrich.
Is it moving? Okay,
yes.
So I can use it as a pointer. Great. So what you'll see here, for example, as the presentation goes on, you will see a preview of Microsoft Teams with the chat area where people can chat, like in Facebook or WhatsApp, different tabs. But you see like a tablet device or notebook. I don't know what it actually is. And then you see a mobile device here on the side. And it always shows the same in parallel. And it's the experience is kind of the same. And the team comes with you wherever you are. If you're in the office or on the road or on the field, everything is there. Let's move on to the next slide. Oh yeah, here I can show. So Microsoft Teams comes with chat areas. You know, WhatsApp, for example, or like normal SMSing. People can just send messages and answer each other and send photos and do smileys and little abbreviations just to communicate instantaneously. You have a meeting section where you have your calendar, for example. So the whole team has its own calendar and you can plan your days and have everything available.
So if this is an office, Heinrich, the whole office would have the calendar in one calendar, for example.
The whole team has the calendar. You will see later, I will explain a bit further. You can have many teams created within Teams, within your organization. You can make calls, be it just like from device to device, or if your system is connected to your telephone, you can make normal landline calls and receive it for that sake as well. And you have a file storage area, like you might know the old file server you had, or just your PC in your office where you store your files. Now you store your files in Teams. It's moved up to the cloud and shared, or it's able to be shared with all the team members. Plus it's getting backed up and is secure. So if your PC is getting stolen or breaks or your hard disk dies, your data is still available. Yeah, let's move on. You have lots of different features. You can integrate different apps, but it's getting a bit too far at the moment. So Microsoft Teams currently is the fastest ever growing business app Microsoft ever created. Specifically now, this is pre-COVID-19. I don't even want to know how it is happening currently, how many people are adopting Microsoft Teams. So fortunate families with children at schools having the means to supply Microsoft Teams are supplying Microsoft Teams. My son is having school via Microsoft Teams, the whole class. They're doing Afrikaans, English, math, all via Microsoft Teams. 2 hours, he's in grade 3, 2 hours every day. And yeah, it's amazing. So I don't want to know how many new Teams subscriptions were created now during this COVID-19 crisis, and it's working. Yeah, he talks a bit more about chats. I talked about that already. So you have within your team all the members, and you can just start typing, put in files, do smileys, like you know it from WhatsApp. I will just move on here. What you can do, for example, is you see here, like little documents embedded, an Excel sheet and a PowerPoint presentation. So you can just drag and drop it into the team, and the people can actually see it and can open it and work on it. It's not like you have to now somehow send it up via email and they must open it from there. No, the team has it right here and can open it. And it's one version of the document, and you don't create like 12 different versions. and send it up and down again each time you do a change to that document. You can create, please let me know if you have some questions or I'm going too fast. Would be nice to have some feedback there.
I think we're going fine, Heinrich.
Okay, great.
Just now. I'll get questions when you get to Outlook, etc.
Okay, great. What you can do as well to create, you will see here on this middle section, you have each little header with this icon in front is called one team. So you create a team, for example, your business development, your marketing, your give me some farming context, for example, milk prices, I don't know, creditors, debtors, LRF, for that sake. And then each team has a middle section where you have a general chat and all the members of a team are assigned to it. And then you can add here on top, you see files, you will have the files there for that specific team, or meeting notes, or specific documents. You can just customize it for your purpose. But I will showcase that a little bit later in a live demo. You can set different permissions within each team. So if you have many team members per team, you can have channels under the team, and then you make each channel have different permissions. So not everybody can see, for example, this team here with this little lock. So you can have a bit more confidential data within a team. So yeah, sometimes it is necessary.
I can add there, Heinrich, for example, we have a team for finances and we have a team for the other stuff. So the other staff can't see the finances folders and what's happening in the finances.
Yeah.
So for Brahman, for example, you typically maybe have a Zitza and Bernadine in a team, and whoever else is working and your board member in that team, for example.
Okay, great input. That was that section. Yeah, this is more for the corporate, or if you have bigger meetings or the meeting room. I don't know who of you might have to use it. But Microsoft Teams is actually running off conferencing equipment. So you can integrate your VC conference room equipment with Microsoft Teams. You schedule appointments or meetings, and it's like fully integrated and works out of the box. So you come into the meeting room, click on in this little touch screen here, and say start meeting because it was scheduled. It creates the connection, and everybody comes together. So it's getting very convenient for the bigger corporates out there having this and are fortunate enough to have this equipment. So communication happens like now during meetings most of the times. So Microsoft Teams intends to have everything in one solution, to have chat, have video, audio conferencing, your files, everything together in one application. They reckon emails one day will not exist anymore. People will just communicate via chat, and the chat files there, like WhatsApp or something else. Microsoft Teams for the sake. But emails will be used less and less. Let's move on here. You can make phone calls. I said that earlier already. So you can actually, while you have a meeting or you're working, you want to get hold of somebody quickly, you have like in Skype, the dial pad, you can dial a number, dial out, and contact somebody on a landline. And again, you see here, it's on a notebook or tablet or on your mobile device, all from one application. Where's my next button? Here we go. And then there are some new features in the conferencing, in the video calling. for example, a background blur. It will show it just now. So, for example, for today or nowadays, we all have to work from home and have meetings. And yeah, we're at home and we don't have an office environment and we sit in the kitchen and we didn't wash up earlier. We can actually blur the background and people can still see me. What we have as well, we can record the meetings, and after the recording is finished, the document or the recording is uploaded into the cloud and a transcription is created. So if you have like board meetings, for example, you will have automatically a transcription of your meeting. You can download it, edit it, and that's it. Not everybody has time doing the notes, meeting notes. I'm extremely bad in doing notes. I can't multitask. So it's a very nice feature to have. You can customize your background. If you want to pretend you're in a bar while having a meeting, you can do so. You just have the background picture. Or you can say you have a nice background picture while you're at a bar as an excuse. Sorry. Then you can have live captions. So while I'm talking right now, you will see in letters, in words, what I speak, which is very, very good for hearing impaired people and people who need a translation of something. You can have whiteboards and I'll just show the stuff now. Here you will see this lady having a meeting and you see everything in the background is blurred. Now she changes her background, or she is now in a corporate at the beach, so that you get an idea. Here we have the live captions. We start the live captions. They're talking. And while they talk, they get this instantaneous writing. And that's really live, happening as you have the meeting. Let's go to the next one. You can have a whiteboard you can collaborate on. So you share this whiteboard while you have the conference session. And you start sketching, drawing, whatever you do. And multiple people can actually draw on this canvas. Yeah, and this is just my brief introduction to Microsoft Teams to give you an idea where stuff is going to and where we are actually at already. Nevertheless, there's still the more conventional products like email, like file servers somewhere out there, or your local file storage system, your calendar, and so on. And there's still the products like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, to deal with the normal day-to-day office tasks. And we can demo some stuff there right now. But I would like to take some questions so far. Okay. I'm sharing my screen.
Any questions so far? Is daar enigiemand wat 'n vraag wil vra?
I don't see a hand. There's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Nadine?
Hi, I have just one question. Do it have to be English? So the writing that's going to show on the screen will be in English, or can it be another language as well, like Afrikaans?
Are you talking about the live captions?
Yes.
Yeah, that's in English, unfortunately, at the moment only, but they're expanding it every month, I think I say. I don't know when Afrikaans is on the roadmap, but I'm sure it will come one day.
I saw there are 142 languages at the moment.
For live captions?
No, maybe not for live captions, but it's available in 42 languages. So I'm not sure about that. You can just check that.
Yeah.
Hello,
thank you.
Zelda.
Morning, Henry. I just want to hear, is there any restrictions on the size of the files that can be shared between the team members?
No, there's no real restriction on the size. There's more practical limitation of how long it takes for you to get the document back from the internet to yourself. But I haven't seen anybody who has had a big issue there.
Okay, thanks. And it can be in any format though, in PowerPoint, in a PDF,
Yeah.
in whatever you choose.
Yes.
Thanks.
Zelda, that's a goeie vraag. I will go, for example, I'm recording this. It'll probably be about 300 meg file, but it's all voice, and I'll put it onto Teams or LRF. It'll go onto the web itself, and it'll probably take an hour to go onto there.
That's wonderful.
And we've got a 4 meg line.
But yeah, usually documents are not that big. I would say that's the exception to send bigger files like videos like this.
Absolutely right, Heinrich. Okay, Heinrich, we're keen to see how you integrate Office with calendar, contacts, etc. But this is something that we all do individually. We've got a husband and wife. She has a list of contacts. I have a list of contacts. And sometimes even in our home, we want the contacts. We'd love one file of contacts. In the office, it's even a bigger challenge because every staff member has their own list of contacts if they're typically using Outlook. And you don't want to have contacts on your phone and contacts on your computer. You want to have all the contacts on your computer, and you simply sync your contacts on your computer, not even sync it. With Teams, it's automatically there. Automatically, as you change something on your computer, you automatically want to change the contacts and on your phone as well. And you can have, you will show, you can have shared contacts and you can have individual contacts. But if you can spend a little bit of time there, we'd appreciate that.
Okay. So I just use my Outlook now. I hope there is not confidential stuff here. I have multiple mailboxes.
Can you make it slightly bigger, Heinrich?
Sorry, my screen is very big.
It's probably going to take a screen resolution setting, hey?
Yeah, I might interrupt now. Is it very bad?
No, maybe it's just I'm getting old now, older.
What I can do is I can use, just give me a sec. I'm just using the web version, which we can make bigger. Sorry, this takes a little moment. Getting there. Getting there. Outlook.
Okay, so
what you will see here from my Microsoft Teams, sorry, this is my Microsoft Teams here.
Excellent, carry on.
This little tile here. Sorry, I must make it bigger now. That's probably better.
Excellent.
Oops, too much. You have a little button here on top and you can switch to your applications, and I can go to my emails, Outlook, with one click. And it opens my Outlook. Maybe this is a bit bigger and then you can see better what we're talking about.
Okay, Heinrich, I just want to come in here. Your Outlook, what you got in your laptop, is now you're using the Outlook in the cloud as such on the internet.
Yeah.
So if you don't, if for example something goes wrong with your Outlook on your laptop, you always got the Outlook on the internet.
Yeah. So some people of you might know the classic Gmail web interface or Yahoo, where you use a web page to go to your email. Outlook does the same. You have a web interface to get to your email. So you can go to any internet cafe or other PC, open a web browser and go to your email without even configuring the Outlook application to get to your email. So what you will see when in Outlook, you have a section on the bottom. You have the buttons, for email, for calendars, takes a while. And for contacts. And Michael was now talking about sharing contacts. So what you can do is you can create your own contacts, add a contact. I don't have any here at the moment. And I'll call it Michael. And give it the email. Michael@lrf.co.za, right? Can give it a mobile number, company name, LRF, add some notes, and just say create. So that's my contact. What I can do now with my contacts, I can, oh, this is not Outlook, sorry. It's not that easy to share it from this list here. You can share this contacts now, but I really have to go back to the Outlook application. It's much easier. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I hope it's not too small. But what you will see now, I opened Microsoft Outlook, go to the contacts there, and it will actually have Michael in here. I just created him. So these here on the side are contact lists. I can right-click and can actually say share. And I share these contacts, and I share it with my wife, which has an account here with my setup as well. And send it. She will receive now an email with a link. She clicks on that link and gains access to my contacts. It will ask actually read-only access or give her write access as well. That's it. I would like to show it now from the other side, but I think you guys get the idea.
Heinrich, this is excellent because you have all your contacts that, for example, the whole society would use, Brahmin as an example. So all the contacts that they would have would be in one list, and then in your personal capacity, you have your own list of contacts. And
absolutely.
And your contacts do not need to be shared with anybody else. So Teresa, for example, might not want to share her contacts and have Bernadine seeing them or Zitza seeing them. So in her case, she will have her contacts there, and God forbid she ever left one day, she simply goes away, and her contacts stay her contacts.
Mm.
So security,
and the nice, yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. Come again.
I said security is also very important. You can allow staff to see what they're going to see of each other, or you have your own secure list of things that you are doing.
Absolutely.
Mekki lives in Namibia. In Mekki's case, he might not. Everybody can share anything because it's him and his son in the farming enterprise. And his wife, for example. So for them, it would be easy. You have one contact list which everybody shares.
Yeah. And great as well. Remember, these contacts are now synchronized to your phone as well. So wherever you are on the road, you have that contact available and can use it as you need it. Plus, they're up to date. If somebody has to update a contact, it will be really up to date. Please ask question. Nikki, yes?
Yeah, so currently we all have our contacts on our phone, or that's how I do. I don't have any on my Outlook. If I wanted to set it up now on Outlook, I obviously don't really want to go and type the hundreds that I have on my phone. Is there a way to import my phone ones to my Outlook and then from then on use the Outlook contacts?
Absolutely. There is,
cool.
It's a nice way to do that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
That was a very good question. Anybody else?
You can maybe start showing the calendars now, Heinrich.
Okay, cool. Let's move on there. So actually what we did with contacts now applies to the calendars. You will see I have different calendars here, and I can display calendars in parallel. I give away that I'm not really busy at the moment. And what you can do...
Heinrich, sorry for interrupting. Maybe just show one calendar and then how that works, and then you can show how you can see other people's.
Okay. Okay, cool. This is my calendar currently. So what I can do is I can do my own calendar entries. So for example, if I go now to today, I want to have a follow-up meeting with Michael just now at, let's say 12 o'clock. It's past, eh? No, not half an hour still to go. Catch up, I give it a name. Here's a button, Teams button. I click, it's a Teams meeting. So it will have an invite for this Teams meeting. I will say that Michael actually is required in this meeting. The meeting is today 12 to 12:30. I can make it a recurring event every Friday at 12 o'clock. We have a catch-up meeting. I'm not doing this right now. And then I can even, like a normal email, write an agenda here, discuss this and that and bye. Just some meeting notes there so that Michael knows what I actually would like to talk about. So I just send it off, and Michael should actually get an email now with an invite and that link to that Microsoft Teams meeting. And you can click on there, and then we can have a video conference. So if Michael opens up that meeting again, here's my little meeting scheduled. You can open it again. Michael will have this link. He clicks on that link and we can meet. So this is my calendar. I can just create calendar invites, or my entries and invites as well. And then, because my wife is really curious in what I do during the day, I can share this calendar as well. Sharing permissions. And I just add my wife, and I tell her she can actually, she can edit, I'm delegating actually the whole calendar to her so that she can create actually entries for me as well as it goes. She can edit it, delete, create new, and you just click on OK. And then she gets an invite mail as well, and she has access to my calendar. So what she then sees in her Outlook is another entry here under under shared calendars, which says Henrich's calendar. She can click on there and see it side by side. I just open up now another calendar here so that you have an idea. So she will see her calendar here on the side and my calendar on the other side, and can see what's happening there. It's a complete daily overview. Michael, I know you are very busy and have lots of appointments. I think this describes a little bit your scenario as well, eh?
Absolutely right, Heinrich. And this is exceptionally useful because all my staff can see exactly what is in my calendar. So they know, and I share my calendar with all my staff, my wife as well. So they all know exactly what time I'm where and what I'm doing. So they know when to call, etc., and what meetings I'm in. And of course, every staff member has their own calendar, so I can see when they're on leave and when they're doing. Janine, for example, is giving a course somewhere. She puts it into her calendar, and she shares her calendar with me as well. So it is exceptionally useful.
Great to hear. What you have as well, I don't use it that much. You have a to-do list. You can create a new task for yourself. Did I click? Oh, here it is, very small. Do this, and you give yourself a start date, end date, and it will remind you in what to do. But there are,
just
yeah,
interrupting. I use this for all my car licenses and things. And
okay.
Because it's recurring, and it actually, you set it up so it actually goes onto your phone and gives you a reminder on your phone. is this is all syncing to your phone. So all my car licenses, for example, is on here. If you go back to calendar, you'll also see birthdays. So, so for our societies, for example, or even personally, you've got everybody's birthdays listed there. So every day the birthday comes up and reminds you it's so-and-so's birthday. I phone Llewellyn Labuschagne every single year on his birthday because it's on my calendar. Good.
Any raised hands, please? Please ask questions. That's why we're here. Okay.
I might go and show them my folders and how the little green button works, etc., so they get an idea of the teams as well, how it sits on.
Okay, to get your files offline onto your device. Okay.
Absolutely right. So
just take my screen then.
Yes. So I'm going to just share a folder here. Okay, so in our case, and Heinrich is right, I call the SharePoint, but it's actually called Teams. So even if though I have that, and let me just get an idea. Can you all see this? Can you all see this screen? At the moment, let me put it in LRF documents. Can you all see the LRF documents? LRF document screen.
I can see it.
Okay, excellent. So if you look there, you'll see a little green button that says a little tick mark. This shows that all of this, and what we've done with the LRF, we've got LRF documents. So we've got breed plan, business files, videos, etc. Then we've got finances. So only myself and La Rochelle have access to the finances team. Nobody else can see the finances team. Whereas the LRF documents team, everybody else can see. And things like talks or pictures, pictures is always logos and pictures is always a big folder. So yeah, all the pictures, for example. So Karen would, for example, have all her pictures, if this is, for example, Brahmin Society, and everybody, you'd have one central spot where all the pictures are. And if Karen, for example, went from her computer and put the pictures onto Teams, it would mean that everybody has access to those pictures. And as you quite rightly said, Heinrich, the Teams documents are being stored and secured every single day. So if something had to happen to your computer, you already got all the stuff stored in the cloud. So if I create a new document, and I write a document, for example, let me just show you just as an illustration. You can see my computer is a little bit slow. Because it's about 5 years old. But if I can create a new document, I can do everything on my computer. I can do everything on this document, and this is now on my computer, and it's going to be stored. Staff meeting, and the date, for example, and I save this now, and I'll save it into Teams directly. And as you quite rightly say, I don't even myself use Teams properly because I should actually be creating this document, and I can say to all the staff, this document is now available for them to use. So I call it staff meeting, for example. So our staff meeting documents, for example, are here on Teams. So if I go to business file, files, meetings. Here's all our office meetings with all the minutes that we got done. We have an office meeting every week. So I'll put their staff meeting with the date, date modified. So whatever the date is today, the 5th, and I save it there. You'll see it now saves there, and it will automatically go, it's processing. Now your Teams meeting comes in, Heinrich, it's 12 o'clock, just to remind me.
Yep.
And so if I click here, save, it automatically saves it into the correct folder. And so if I go into that folder, you'll see that business files, meetings. So now it shows a little blue screen that shows that this thing is not synced into the Sky yet. And if I go and look there, you'll show a little blue screen. And within 2-3 seconds, this is uploaded into the cloud for everybody to be able to see and use. So everybody has access to these staff meetings, for example, and they can go and put agenda points in the staff meeting that they want to, for example. So it's all here in the Teams document that everybody can use. Very useful for things like logos and pictures. Communication to producers, for example. I use Bernardina's example. She might say, I don't want other staff to see the communication to producers. She will create a team then that only she and Zitza then has access to, for example. Or if there's general correspondence to producers, we go, for example, for Wagyu, just to show the other societies. There's the office data received. So I've got Yvonne, for example. All the data files for every producer comes in here, Stoetdeelers. So there's all the producers, for example, this is all uploaded onto the cloud. So there's 777 Wagyu, for example, there the geboortes, heffingslyste, DNR, for example, all that DNR. Every time there's correspondence, we load those files over here so that everything is out in centrally located in the cloud, so that everybody has access to those. Documents. And I haven't synced this to my phone. You could do that if you wanted to, but it's good enough for us to have this out in the cloud and on my computer. So you can. It just simply uploads itself into the cloud, and it takes 2-3 seconds to do that.
Yeah, plus you have the normal experience you're used to anyway with the Windows Explorer, your normal file system where you save your data. So it's not a big change for what you're used to. And Michael, what the great story is as well, we are now, you're currently only talking about your staff, your office, or LRF, the users within your tenant. But if other, yeah?
I run both, and I've set it up both the same way. So all of them are doing exactly the same thing. LRF is not getting stuff from producers. For example, registrations, etc., is not coming in from producers. But Wagyu, for example, which I also manage, that's why I showed the Wagyu example. Every single file that we get from a producer, we store up into the cloud. That God forbid, if Yvonne ever had to leave one day, the next person comes in, everything is perfectly done. It's in the cloud. We've actually had challenges as LRF with one of our breed society managers being killed in a motorbike crash. And we couldn't get access to his computer, and he had everything on his computer.
Oh, no.
It was a terrible situation for that society. And that's why I strongly encourage people to use the cloud to store information on. And the great thing now with lockdown, everybody is working on the same document. And maybe you can show how you can actually work on the same document at the same time.
We can try that just now. I just have some issues here from my side. But what I would like to add to your story is you're just talking now about WEGU or LRF, but now think about having all the affiliated people to the association. They're all on teams, and they can have now their common shared space. You create a team for all the associates and share your document there and work on your document centrally there and have your meetings right there where you have it. You record your meetings right there. It's documented there. You have the transcript there. Done.
Absolutely right, Heinrich. For a society, I wouldn't use Zoom, except for an AGM or something like that. I would usually be using Teams for a society within the society, because then you simply send out the request using your calendar to everybody, and they got the link, and they just simply click onto the link. And you have, as you say, the whiteboard there and the PowerPoint, and everything is integrated.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we just about got to the end of our Teams meeting. Heinrich, just to summarize what you've said to us, the tremendous thing is, even for the small guy, Derek LaRue, for example, who I see there, it integrates Derek's phone with his computer. It integrates his dad's, the contacts are all shared amongst each other, and the calendars are shared amongst each other. Everybody can see Derek's calendar, for example, or Meki as an example. I see Francis also joined us. So these are things that can be shared, and that's what makes it so useful. I can't believe it when I see somebody, as Nikki was saying, if all her contacts are on her phone, every time she changes phone, it's a big story to put her contacts on the new phone again. You don't want the contacts on the phone. You want them on your Outlook so that you can share things easily and share the context amongst each other.
Yeah. There is somebody saying something. I can't see where.
Okay,
Chat.
Open up the conversation now, Heinrich. Is daar enige van julle wat vra het voor Heinrich praat van dit wat dit kos per rekenaar om Office 365 af te laai en te gebruik?
Yeah. Please, Dagmar has a question.
I've got Office 365. All the people with whom I'm sharing, they don't need to have. I can just put these contacts on there, and then they can share on my 365. Or does everybody needs to have 365?
Not everybody needs to have Office 365. They need a Microsoft account. You can get a free Microsoft account to have the identity and be able to access your data, because you must share your stuff to a internet identity. So if somebody has an Outlook account for the emails and uses that, you can share your contacts to that person. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Zelda?
Phone with hi Michael, hello. How do you share your phone with your PC when you're on Microsoft Teams? Must you log in from your phone into Teams?
Almost. So you have an app, Outlook app, or your normal email app, which connects to the email in Office 365 and syncs all the contacts and calendars and emails to your phone. And then you get a Teams app as well, which allows you to do all the meetings and chat and so on.
Zelda,
so basically, yeah.
From my side, I've downloaded the Outlook app, but I'm going to be brave now and download the Teams app. I haven't done that yet, but I simply downloaded the Outlook app, and then it gives me all my contacts, and it actually syncs with my contacts on my phone as well. And but there's a Outlook app that you can download from Google Play or iPhone.
Great.
Dewald, I see Dewald at his hand up. Let me just see if I can get him again. Dewald?
Hallo, hoor julle my?
Ons hoor jou duidelik, Dewald.
Just a quick question. I think this is a fantastic kit for especially breed societies to use. But you guys that have worked with this a lot more, is there anything that it does not work well for? where it sort of falls short from what you, or where one would consider rather using it, not using it?
I worked with different industries and customers, and even with a big bank, and they all start using Microsoft Teams. I can say it was Capitec. They just moved to Microsoft Teams, and just before this big COVID, they managed to get that implementation done, so they all can work from home. Capitec is sorted. They don't have this huge drama of now, oh my word, how do we enable our staff? So it is working for them currently. I worked for, implemented Microsoft Teams for a accounting firm in PE. They have lots of farmers out as well in that area, in the Eastern Cape. And they need their data, all the data offline with them on their notebook, because once they go out to the farm, they often don't have internet. So they're using Microsoft Teams and the Outlook sync functionality, the OneDrive sync functionality, to have everything with them. So it worked as well fantastically. Another example, yeah, and then smaller firms as well. Like myself, I use Microsoft Teams for my small company I started now. I don't have this huge overheads. I don't have a server at home. I don't need big costs to do my daily operations. So it's suited. Teams is made to bring people together and work together on something and have everything efficiently available. That's what it is for. There are sometimes little learning curves to do, but we can get around them. In general, it's a fantastic product, and I haven't come over a customer where I said, no, this is not a fit.
Heinrich, just before I answer Nikki from my side, just remind me again, Teams per one laptop costs about 230 Rand a year.
No, not Microsoft Teams.
Or Microsoft or Office 365.
Office 365. They're different packages. I will show just now. So yeah, even you can get Microsoft Teams for free for your personal entity, but then it's difficult to do like more enterprise collaboration.
Okay.
But I will get to that later.
I think it's about 1,800 Rand a year or 2,000 Rand a year. It's close to that. We worked out that if we had to upgrade, because you've got the latest Microsoft products, the latest Excel, latest Word, latest Outlook, etc. We worked out if you had to upgrade every third year your Office package, it's going to cost exactly the same. So even for a single user on a farm, it's almost the same price to have Office 365 as what it is to upgrade your to a new Office package every second, third year. We worked out the cost. I must just try and find the cost of it. I'll do that while we answer some of the other questions. I'll quickly find the cost of a single user.
Yeah, plus you have the features of email, of your own domain, of Teams, of conferencing on top of this normal Office package. So it's not just Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, it's all these collaboration features around it.
Absolutely right. Nikki, you had a question?
Yeah, no, I think you're answering my question ahead of it, Michael. I was going to ask with the 365 whether, but I think Henrik's going to get into that, whether you can just get the basic 365 and have access to this, or for me to use it collaboratively with my in-laws, do we need the business level? But sounds like Heinrich's got to get into that soon anyway.
Yeah, yes, for you, there's a small business option. So I'm going to just look up quickly Office.
Yeah, because we've actually been looking into this exactly. This course has come at the perfect time for us, but this is why I'm very interested to hear the recommendations for us.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many different scenarios and types of licenses you can purchase, and obviously there's not one fits all, but we can find the optimal solution for you.
Okay, I see just here for your own personal, it's 900 rand. 900 rand. I'm trying to see what it is per year. For a family, I see there's a family option as well.
Yeah, there's a whole matrix of.
Yes, but maybe you can go in there, Heinrich, and just finish off, and then we'll discuss the costs a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. So we had a little bit talk and demo and questions, and then I have this end. So what can I now do from my side? That's obviously what everybody would like to know now. What I can offer is like a flexible solution to support you guys in firstly setting you up, getting you going, and then to be there for you if you have questions or need more staff or people configured, or you need help in sharing stuff, or you want to do something else, automate something. So that's what I could offer in this setup. I've split that up now in different sections. So the initial setup would actually consist out of provisioning the Office 365 tenant. That's like, yeah, really getting the cloud configured for your purpose. And then what the part of the initial setup as well would be configuring up to 4 users with their PC and mobile devices. One prerequisite is that the PCs are running Windows 10. So it's not going to work on Windows 8 or older versions. It will cause problems. It's not going to run fine. Then the ongoing support section could look like this, that you buy a package of 5 or 10 hours in advance, and then you can call me anytime to get support during office hours. And these hours can then be used for migrating old data, like if you have lots of files or lots of old emails with somebody else, you can migrate them into Office 365 and make them available for you. Or we configure additional users or do training or whatever would be required from your side. I don't know that yet. Then there is the portion of the Office 365 licensing. We mentioned that right now. So what happens currently is you can get started with trial licenses. They are valid for a whole month. Then, because Microsoft sees the urgency of people being able to communicate and collaborate, they allow to extend your trial by 90 days currently. So you basically have 4 months free licensing during the COVID-19 drama. And then, yeah, there are different packages available to suit your needs. And we must, I will help you then one by one to figure out what the exact package should be for you, because they have different costs. So I have little cost overview for you guys. These prices all include VAT. I can do a non-VAT part as well, but I think you guys get an idea. The initial setup would consist of setting up the tenant, would cost 4,000 rands. I would create a domain registration for you configured so that you can get your emails with your domain name, like pudu@namibia.com or something like that. So that is customized for you. So you have a nice email address. Then you have the flexible portion for the ongoing support. If you have a 5-hour package, that would be 2,600 rands. Then yearly costs, this is the domain registration fee. It varies by what kind of domain you have. approximately 250 rands a year. It's very little. And then the licensing, after the free trials are ended, is for this Office 365 premium license, 3,600 rands a year per user. But this is now the bigger version. That's what you guys use, Michael, which has basically everything a small enterprise needs. And the smaller packages where you only have the online products, you don't have the Word application or Excel application, you just use the web browser to create your documents or edit your documents. And those packages, license packages, are considerably cheaper.
So, Heinrich, for four of us, I know it costs 12,000 a year about. Because if your subscription is cheaper. So, so I know for 12,000 Rand a year, my whole computing stuff is sorted, my backups are sorted for our 4 staff, for example, and I don't have to worry about all of that stuff. And I get all the access to all the other stuff. But as you quite rightly say, for a smaller business, it's going to be a lot cheaper than that, because you don't need an enterprise version.
Yeah.
So the business basic that I've got here is 76 Rand a month. So let me just multiply 76 a month, 76 times by 12. Yes, it's going to work. And you're going to need to talk to Heinrich because of your requirements. Nikki, for your guys, for example, I can think about 3 computers possibly, or 2 maybe, 3 computers. And so you don't need an enterprise version there. You just need a small thing that will be about 2,500–3,000 Rand a year.
And remember, it's a license per user. So all your devices you have under your username are included. So if you run multiple PCs in your office, at home, wherever, and all your tablets and cell phones, they all come with it.
Yes, you can do that. You can, for example, if you wanted to, we started out like that, Heinrich. We used to have 1 license for 4 users, but then it gets a little bit messy.
Yeah.
Heinrich, I see this.
Yeah, I wouldn't encourage that, but yeah, it's not recommended. You will run into issues later. But in the beginning, for sure, you can do that. But again, if you have the family version, you can create up to 5 users under that license, which have the independent user accounts.
Okay, Heinrich, I see we got Meki with a question there.
Yes.
Yes, Meki.
So you're unmuted. Hi, Michael, it's Sonia also here.
Oh, good.
We just quickly want to know, we didn't know about the domain. We do have Office 365 a while already, but I didn't know about the domain. Where do we access the domain, or where do we, how do we make use of it?
It's relatively easy. I can show you how to. First thing is you must have access to your domain hosting company, so that you can configure the domain to allow Office 365 to make use of it. But
Office 365 doesn't have its own domain. Because we do have a domain with a different company, we just would have to migrate it to Office 365. But
absolutely. So Office 365 by default has a more generic domain. So you probably send a mail to Nikki at something@microsoft.com. So it's a very generic email address. It's not a nice one to have. But you can configure your own custom domain to it, so it can receive emails under your company name. And it's easily done.
Okay, yeah, but then it is like with Microsoft in the domain name. Okay, no, that's fine.
The domain hosting is still with your hosting provider, but the mail records will show to Microsoft.
Sorry, repeat that quickly.
So wherever you host your domain currently, that will stay there.
Yes.
You need access to that to configure it so that the mails can be pointed to Microsoft's mail servers.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
I'll leave Heinrich's contact details with you guys, and you can contact him and let him just show you and fiddle around there. Heinrich hasn't got it over here, but Heinrich charges, and I cleared this with him, 450 Rand an hour for online support. And so it's what he does when he goes into my computer and sorts out all our, often some of our stuff that we need to sort out. I see I've got Nikki here with another question.
Yeah, just quickly, I guess it's just assumed, but Heinrich, do you offer the services here into Namibia?
Yes, everything is happening remotely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Heinrich, maybe we should just talk about security as well. So Heinrich has implemented what we call third-party authentication. Every time somebody goes into a computer outside your computer, you know, like you're using somebody else's computer, for example, it will then request from you, from Microsoft's Authenticator, that you put a PIN in. It will come on your cell phone, and you've got to put that PIN in. And so that's it's called third-party authentication. And every now and then, it will just force you to put in the code that you get out of your Authenticator to stop people from trying to hack into your account, etc. So the security is also very good, but you need third-party authenticator, in my opinion, for that.
Yeah, that I will configure by default. I'm not getting any customer around anymore nowadays without having that. I wouldn't be able to sleep. You get so many phishing emails where people just try to pretend to be F&B, ask for your login details, and yeah, because you're falling for it, you're tricked into it, and then they suddenly have your credentials and can log in on your behalf. So this multi-factor authentication is there to prevent exactly that scenario of people trying to steal your credentials.
Absolutely right. But Nadine, jy en Zitse is baie stil. Het julle enige vrae van julle kant af? Bernardine? Bernardine has probably gone to wash the dishes so long and left it on yet.
Heinrich or Michael, can I just ask a question? Just one question.
Absolutely right. Sorry, who am I speaking to? It says it doesn't give a name.
It's Ernst Penzel.
Okay, yes, Ernst. Welcome.
Okay, thanks. Now, two questions. The one is, do you in fact do away with your normal contacts, calendar, my documents, etc.? In other words, is this a new basket? Is say under the Teams? Is it a new basket into which all those various Microsoft products are consolidated, and which then gives you the opportunity to share them with other people, etc.?
Yeah. Sorry?
No, and then the second question is, we are using Zoom now for our meetings, Michael for our Wagyu meetings, etc., etc. Will that transfer into team meetings in future? And what is the benefit of Teams vis-a-vis Zoom?
Heinrich, you answer the first question, and I'll answer the second question.
Okay, great. Yeah, you were kind of spot on. Microsoft Teams is not a complete new product as such, but Microsoft Teams is developed to make use of existing technology Microsoft is supplying already. For example, the mails. Microsoft always had this mail functionality. Or for the storage of your files, it uses Microsoft SharePoint. I don't know if that says something to you guys, but it's an old product of Microsoft, SharePoint. And SharePoint is the underlying product which stores all the files, but Microsoft Teams is on top of it and just accesses those. And the same with your My Documents. They are just synced up into the cloud for your into your personal space and backed up there and available on all your devices. Or then the team files synced, which are available to all the teams. So yeah, right. Teams is nothing new in that regard, but it brings everything together to allow everybody to have everything right there, centralized, to work off. Is that explaining what you're asking for?
Yes, thank you very much. In other words, you will not maintain your contacts as you are maintaining them now on your laptop or on your phone. You will maintain them on the Teams program.
Contacts are still with Microsoft Outlook or with the mails, but it will all move into Microsoft Teams very, very soon. It's on the roadmap. Again, the mail part and contacts part is an old functionality, has been there quite long already. And now Microsoft Teams as an umbrella over it will integrate it very soon.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And from your second question, Zoom is very much a conference type of program, and not it's ideally suited for conferences. We even use it for Wagyu meetings. But when you're dealing in an office type environment, a Wagyu office or a Brahman office or Summertal office, then Teams makes a lot more sense to work within that office environment. I've still got to try and work through the functionality of the audio and the conferencing side of Teams. It's probably just, you know, well, I don't know if it is better than Zoom, but I think you get it free with Office 365. So I can envisage you using Teams meetings with Office 365 and not having to purchase Zoom for small business type enterprise, even big business.
Yeah. So you have to pay for Zoom as well for larger meetings, and specifically if you want to host. And Michael, what I can do for the whole association is a comparison of Teams and Zoom, and then everybody can really see one by one what are the advantages, disadvantages, and then you can maybe make a decision on how to go about it in future.
Yes, look, we are very happy with Zoom because it's so easy, you know, and that's why they've grown to the extent they have. But I can envisage, Heinrich, that for an office environment, Teams is a lot easier. A conferencing Teams is a lot easier. Ernst, my big thing was I wanted a folder in the cloud, which allowed all of us to work on the same documents, because we were starting to. It was becoming really messy. We were starting to all have folders on our computers, and our documents was 3 or 4 times each person had their own version of a document, for example. So that's why I went out and said, what can I find? And then this was the perfect product for us, because everybody was able to integrate with this folder in the sky, if I can call it, in the cloud. And it's really sorted out all the rubbish that you have on your computer and everybody has on their computers. It's unorganized, etc. Now we have all the same documents that's easily accessible for us. And as I said, you're working on your computer. So it's not like you're working on the internet. You're still working on your computer. When you finish the document, you leave it, you close it, you save it, and it saves itself automatically over time into the cloud.
I think that clears it, because in our situation with having, call it an administrative office in Pretoria and farming with the managers in the Eastern Cape, I see it's a perfect solution actually to share information that they are inputting from that side and that we are taking at the office here and from the accounting point. And I also see, in other words, the main benefit is actually the sharing of the information more than the conferencing type. of usage. So, and if you do then use the conferencing, you are all on the same page. You're sharing the same information.
100% correct, Ernst. Yes, it's solved. In a case like yours, it's the perfect solution.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Heinrich, and also Michael.
It's a pleasure. We don't mind if you guys leave the teams at all. Are there any more questions? Sonia? Bernardine? Bernardine, ek sien jou hand is op. Ek onmute jou sommer van my kant af.
Hi Michael, kan jy my hoor?
Ons hoor jou duidelik, Bernardine. Wie jy
kan ek Afrikaans praat?
Jy kan maar Afrikaans praat.
Okay. Op hierdie stadium in Brahmane gebruik 'n share drive. Okay, so al ons dokumente is heidaglik op 'n share. So jy het jou eie dokumente soos my finansiële goederes is heeltemal apart. Dit word nie op 'n share geplaas nie, maar dit is op my eie share op my eie naam wat heidaglik gebackup word. Ons share word gebackup. So al ons dokumentasie word gebackup. Nou, as ek die vraag so mag vra is om my te vir ons te kan convince hoekom ons moet oorgaan na 'n 365 toe as ons alreeds 'n share het en alles wat basies dieselfde werk as 365 as ek maar so kan stel. So ek het convincing nodig om oor te skakel. Ons het op hierdie stadium 'n kantoor, ons het servers in die kantoor, ons gaan nie kantoor nou opgee of die servers tot niet maak nie. So al jou goeders is nog steeds van toepassing. Hoekom moet ons oorgaan na 365 toe?
Bernardine's question, Heinrich, is they already have Google's Google Drive set up, and it works very well for them. They've got a server in the office. It's a reasonably new server, and it takes all the data and puts it into Google Drive. In this situation, what is the advantage of moving over to Teams? What will Teams offer them that Google Drive doesn't offer them?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I'm not too involved in the Google kind of products. They offer probably a similar set of features, and I'm sure it will work fine if you have enough support and you do everything you can do. That's all I can say. I'm sure it will be fine. I haven't checked the product.
Vir julle werk dan hoef julle nie dan werk dit vir julle. Dan is daar geen rede om nou te verander nie.
Ja, Michael, dit is net hoekom ek dit vra, want op hierdie stadium was die vraag aan my gevra deur my raad om in te sit vandag en te luister en die advantages te kry en ek probeer, hoe sê mense sê, die opweeg teenoor mekaar om te kyk, okay, dit is wat jy elke 3 jaar of 4 jaar moet spandeer in 'n nuwe pakket en dit is wat jy nog huidiglik op 'n jaar spandeer. Ek meen jy betaal R12,000 per jaar vir 4 mense. Nou, ons is omtrent 5 op kantoor en 2 buitekant die kantoor, so ons praat van 7, so ek weet dat ons kostes gaan wees nie. Ek probeer dit opweeg en kyk wat is tot voordeel. Ons wil graag vorentoe beweeg in die lewe, maar op hierdie stadium is dit net so, jy sit met twee pakkette, watter een is huidiglik wat jy 'n kantoor nog het en ek wil net kyk wat werk die beste uit vir jou.
100% reg. What you can do, Heinrich, if I just type here Office 365 versus Google Drive.
Yeah, there's lots of comparisons, and I think we should actually sit down and make a proper comparison of what you really need, what you have, and what you really need, and what you get from Google and what you get from Office 365, and make a decision. I mean, at the moment, you probably have to purchase the Office applications, the Office package, every 3 years again. And for the same amount of money, you get the whole Office 365 package. So there might well be a big cost advantage for you. But obviously, I don't know your operations and must check first what's going on there.
Yes, do that. You can do that for Bernardine. She's got nothing to lose. So look what her cost in her situation would be for Office 365. As you say, they will then get upgraded automatically with all the upgrades. But what are the costs and what are the benefits?
Absolutely.
What is a Google Drive as good as does it do the if it does the job? But if her having to spend, I don't know how often they would upgrade their Office packages. Elke 3 jaar, Bernardine, of 4 jaar?
Ja, op hierdie stadium het ons nou lanklaas, soos die nuwe rekenaar, maar elke jaar moet jy nou maar, you must get a new computer almost every 5 years, so then you get a new package as well on the computer. So, ons het lanklaas ge-upgrade, but ja, dit sal seker maar binnekort ook seker maar moet gebeur.
Okay. She says they might have to upgrade one of these days. So if they do that, I think you need to do a cost benefit for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just get in contact with me and we just sit down and try to do a cost comparison.
Okay, Heinrich, just on there's a chat function here. Just on the chat function here. What is your email address or telephone number?
I will type it in right now.
Okay. If anybody did want to contact you, you can obviously use whoever you want to use and ask your own computer guy as well. We've just, from our side, got very good support from Heinrich. Any other questions? Okay, Heinrich has given his contacts there in the chat. In the chat, you'll see Heinrich has given his questions. So if nobody's got any further to add, I want to remind you that there's the next Zoom meeting will be on Wednesday by Izan and Meki, and it'll be about selection principles. So you've got a producer coming in. Meki, we've made this earlier. Sonia, you can speak to your father-in-law. We made it earlier now, 9 o'clock, as everybody asked us to do. So I'll send the list out today of all the different Zoom courses that we'll be giving. So next Wednesday there'll be a course on selection with Mickey Schneider, who will show how he does his selections, the whole program that he works through. Deja, julle in Frans sal dit baie geniet, want julle sal sien Mickey is nie verniet stoetteler van die jaar beide Suid-Afrika en Namibië en boer van die jaar in Namibië gewees nie. So unless there are any further pressing questions, I say thank you very much. We can give a thumbs up and thank you very much, all of you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, and yeah, well done for the turnout on a public holiday.
Thank you very much for that, Heinrich. We really appreciate that. So you as well.
No, great, thank you. Have a great day and weekend.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, bye now.
Bye.